Breaking out of bondage is not easy. The Bible talks about this many times. And when you're making progress, when you are making better choices in your life, replacing bad habits with good habits, getting more spiritual, getting more in the Word, reading your Bible, listening to the Psalms, spending time in meditation, and you're really healing from what hurt you in the past, whatever enslaved you is going to come calling. And when you're doing well and you're helping other people and you're being a blessing to others, that puts the devil's target right on your back. So you have to realize it's just like in the Bible when the Israelites were given freedom from slavery. Pharaoh changed his mind and he wanted them back. He wanted them back as his slaves. And they were going to where God wanted them to be, which was Canaan, which was a land of milk and honey, a land with vineyards and many great things for them that were just waiting, but they had to get there. And they had to roam in the desert for 40 days because many of them were double-minded and didn't have faith. And when the hard times came, they wanted to go back to bondage in Egypt because that's what they were familiar with. And a lot of times, the familiarity of an addiction or an old relationship that was toxic or old bad habits, that becomes very normal. So you feel more comfortable in a toxic environment, in an environment that's not serving you, with people that aren't serving you. That becomes very comfortable. And you don't want to take risks. You don't want to get out of your comfort zone. So you're willing to go back to bondage. And it happens. Relapse happens. Making bad decisions happens. Going back to old bad habits does happen. And you can't be hard on yourself because that's what the devil wants. The devil wants you to condemn yourself and feel guilty. And that shame and that guilt will drive you right back to where you were before. So you just need to put one foot in front of the other and take baby steps every day towards your goal and towards living a better life. And also celebrate your little victories, big or small. You got to celebrate your victories. Give yourself credit. And God was feeding the Israelites manna in the desert when they were wandering around. And a lot of them got tired of eating it, but that's the food they had. But they wanted the food that was back in Egypt for them. And they knew they would have certain foods. They knew what their schedule would be. And they would have rather gone back to bondage. And you will be tempted to go back many times. And you might flirt with it or even do it. But you have to keep on trying. Even if it's 1,000 times, you have to keep on trying. And every day's a new day. Every day's a gift when you wake up. So it's a new beginning. Every new day, every new hour is a chance to live differently and to keep moving forward. And God doesn't want you to just live off manna. He doesn't want you to just live off manna. He intended for them to go to a land with milk and honey and vineyards and houses that were already built that they just had to occupy. And everything was already there for them. God had already prepared it for them. And they could be feasting on milk and honey and everything else. But they got the manna and they just got by. They just survived and they ate the same old food every day because they were double-minded, a lot of them, and a lot of them didn't have faith. But you just need a little bit of faith and that faith will grow, and you need to focus on that. Keep that faith, that little bit of faith, and grow it every day. You grow it through spirituality, meditation, listening or reading to your Bible and Psalms and content like this. And when you can make the choice of getting in the Word, listening to content like this, other creators, listening to good preaching, that really helps me. When I used to listen to rap music and other stuff, now I listen to preaching when I'm at the gym, because you have to get immersed and obsessed like you're learning a new language. It's like learning a new language. You have to keep on getting immersed in it, and eventually it becomes a part of you and you remember. And when it comes time to make decisions and you are at the crossroads between making the right decision and the wrong decision, you remember the word. You remember what that teacher said. You remember what that preacher said. It's in your mind, and you automatically make the right decision. But it doesn't happen overnight. You might have to walk in the desert for 40 days to build your faith, and God let them do that. He didn't just let them have the land of Canaan. They had to fight for it. They had to walk through the desert until their faith was strong. And when they got to the Red Sea, they thought they were going to drown. And a lot of them wanted to go back to slavery rather than drown and die a terrible death. But you have to understand, faith is belief in things not yet seen. That's how you show God that you have faith in Him. And so God parted the seas for them, and that really happened. And so just because you don't know how you're going to get what you desire, you might not know how you're going to get sober. I didn't know how I was going to stop doing my bad habits and smoking weed and all those things. I was addicted to weed for the better part of 2 decades. And I had no idea how I was going to stop. And only God's intervention got me to one day just stop. And I haven't done it ever since then. And yeah, I've had many quitting attempts on many different things. And I've gone back and I've relapsed. And with my anger problem, I still snap sometimes. You will probably fail, but you have to snap out of it. And you have to look forward always and not back, and keep the faith. And then you'll stop being given manna and you'll get your milk and honey. I promise. Just keep the faith and you'll get it, my friends. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.